morning, everybody. Came up to the corn planter this morning. Chris was planting away yesterday and had a hydraulic hose break. Right there. Covered the tractor in oil. She needs a bath. He also had one breakout on his marker earlier in the day. So he kind of gave up. Got the hose fixed yesterday afternoon. And we had to bring some guys up anyway to pick up some sprayer stuff. Got a pickup truck and our water truck up here that we had to come pick up anyway, so they dropped me off at this. There's only 20 acres left to finish up here, and then I can bring this home. But today is the first day of chopping. Gotta get this done, get this planter home, get the quick till off the steger, get the blade on the steger, make sure it's ready to go, and hopefully we're chopping by 2 o'clock this afternoon. There's 230 acres on the ground, something like that, 3 different jobs, and rain in the forecast at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So it's a lot of acres to do for the first day, and hopefully there's no hiccups. Chris is working on getting that harvester back together. We're just got to check some gearbox oils and stuff like that. But should be an eventful day. This planter looks like it's been through war. Between all the oil leaks it's had and all the fertilizer that we had to unplug out of each Alpine distributor there. She's going home and she's getting unfolded by the pressure washer, and if somebody's standing there twiddling their thumbs, they can wash and scrub this planter today because it needs it in the worst way. You know the deal. That was definitely put down this morning. Try to keep it to one side, at least the planter is getting washed, but never fails, never fails. Should have turned one side road sooner and I wouldn't have had to do this. I hate it. Watch yourself. Gets to be on the YouTube, Mr. Brandon. So we're gonna wreck something here. Definitely had that go better before. Now you have to let me know when the pins in there go out. Okay. See that hole back in there? Yep. Okay. Yeah, it settled in the dirt a little crooked, so definitely goes better when it's just on pavement. I think we've actually only got 2 remotes mixed up too, so that's better than most years. We'll get my counterweight on and Maybe clean my windows. Here we go. I'm gonna put some feed in the bunk. We're doing it. We're doing it. I was mistaken. I was under the impression that 3 guys were cutting today, or yesterday for today, but only 2 guys ended up cutting. So not as many acres as I originally thought for today, which is fine. It's good. It's a nice test run of everything. But I think there's 140 acres now instead of 130 instead of 230. So nice little test to make sure everything's running good and get guys trained in and back in the swing of things. This is very fluffy crop. Not a big fan. Moved to the next job. There's 100 acres here, which is more than I thought there was, but still shouldn't be too bad of a night. Actually already cleaned off 40 of it, so it's going pretty good. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't have said that. I said it though. I guess we can talk a little bit about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it before it gets too dark here. I am pushing and packing up This is rye grass, rye cereal, I guess. It is chopped for feed. My job is to push it up in thin layers and then drive over it really slow to compress the air out of it. And our goal is to eliminate the oxygen so that it ferments without molding or heating, and obviously to fit more inside less space. This tractor is 37 ton and it's still spin out. This tractor is 37 ton, and yeah, we're trying to keep up. My goal is to get the load pushed up in a thin layer and gone over completely before the next load comes in. Doesn't always work that way, so depending on where the dumpers transition in the field. Like if he's at the front headland, one load, that load comes really quick to the bunk, and then the next load, if he's full at the back of the farm, he takes a while to get to me, so I have extra time in between those two loads, but then the load after that one again is really quick. So I just gotta make sure that I'm consistently getting across the bunk, thin layer, drive over it, squish all the oxygen out, get it compacted, and make sure it ferments good. At the end of the day, we are here for 4, 5, 6 hours, and the farmer gets to look at this feed all year. So having a bad day doing this is not acceptable. It is, in our opinion, the most important job. Yeah, you can, a good chopper driver gets stuff done, but if this isn't done right, this is what makes or breaks you. You probably don't lose a customer because your harvester operator maybe wasn't on his game that day, but if your pack tractor operator doesn't care, you'll never be back at that farm again. We got a 7-ton cement weight, steel shell filled with cement, concrete. Weighs 7 ton. Has a weight on the back of the tractor. There is 3 sets of wheel weights per set of wheels, so what would that be? 3 times 4. 12 sets of 12 wheel weights on this tractor. The blade itself is almost 4 ton. This tractor, it's really well balanced. I'm really happy with how it drives down the road. It doesn't seesaw. The tires are not loaded because we still do use this tractor as a tillage tractor. So in the spring it's pulling a cultivator, and I can drop 7 ton off the back, 4 ton off the front real quick, and it's still heavy going through the field, but it's not. It doesn't have whatever it would even be, 8 ton of juice in the tires, also running up and down the field. We got out of loading tires a long time ago. The wheel weights are a pain in the butt. The bolts break and sometimes they come flying off, and yeah. But juice never seems to balance right. The ride's rough, it rots your rims. If you get a nail in your tire or a hole in your tire, you lose all your juice. And be like iron weight, but it's been simple for us. I feel like a lot of people kind of shrug on this job and think it's boring, and look at the harvester and think, oh yeah, that's the thing I want to run. But I don't know. I've always enjoyed this job. It's the importance of it, and it's a skill. And
you gotta come forward.
The people that don't like it can't do it, in my opinion. If you're really good at it, you love it. It's a challenge every day. You always got to make the feed fit in, which sometimes is just impossible, but you try anyway. Yeah, you're only going 2 miles an hour back and forth, but it's smooth. You're not as sore as the dumper drivers by the end of the day, that's for sure. Yeah. You get to look at your quality work like coming back and looking at the bunks that we did throughout the past year and not seeing mold, and customers are happy, densities are good. That's a good feeling too. So. But I really enjoy packing this stuff. It has a hollow stem, so it makes it really fluffy and spongy to pack. And this tractor is almost too heavy for itself. It's got 620 tires on it, and we kind of wanted to go with 710s, and it just didn't happen when we ordered the tractor. So it sinks, like its footprint, it's got a very small footprint, which is great for compaction, but it's so much weight on such a small footprint that it sinks so easy, and then it starts dragging underneath the frame under the tractor. So every pass that you go up and down, you drag stuff down and you're fluffing up, and it's maybe not. I think a little less weight would probably be better for this stuff, but then once you get into haylage, it's no issue, and corn silage, it is what it is. So this stuff's a little stressful. It likes to squish out the sides of the walls, and it pushes easy, pushes way easier than alfalfa or grass, but does not pack very nice. The boss brought coffee. It's good. I can't see us having much more than an hour left. It's a little after, it's almost 10:30 now. Yeah, it's just a pile of feed out there. The one middle section was worm picker, and then it got planted kind of late summer, like very early for triticale, and it is or very early for rye, and she's a bumper crop in that section. Should be getting there. Let me rephrase that. I think it was planted at the same time, but the fertility is insane in that section. So it's probably twice the crop of either side of it, which was corn last year. So the end goal, by the time we're finished the acres here tonight, is to have a consistent wedge to the back of the bunk, kind of as much of the length of the bunk as we can reasonably do. The one very big disadvantage to this is we're going to be putting first cut alfalfa on top of this in a couple weeks, and now I have a pile of real estate to cover every single time I go up and down this bunk. So we're going to have to tell the harvester to just take it easy for the first little bit anyway, until I get the back filled in with new seed, or until I get the back filled in with first cut. Just make sure we get it packed right still. But the reason they like doing it this way is they get advantage of the rye for a longer period of time, and it's a slow transition as they feed back. They test the feed every couple weeks anyway.
There'll be about 5 more loads to drop.
It's quite a bit of feed still. They test the feed every couple weeks anyway, so the ramp changing as they go, they're usually pretty good at being able to compensate for that. So try to keep this stuff below the walls, because as soon as we get above the walls, it kind of squishes out. So yeah, fill on the back to the wall and make a wedge, and we'll be back here in a couple weeks to kind of bring the back of the bunk up to height, and then he only has to open the front up for second and third. Getting the last load pushed up, the guys are running around the wall sweeping them off. I love how that Krone harvester looks at night. That thing is, that is a sharp harvester. I love that thing. She's quite full, this bunk. We got that all wrapped up. That's 170 acres under plastic for the day. It's a pretty good first day. We're gonna hurry on home. It's a little after midnight, and shut it down for the night. Set an alarm for the morning, but it's supposed to be raining when we wake up, so we'll see if that actually comes true. But as always, I appreciate you guys watching. don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see what we get up to tomorrow.